Greetings, welcome to Hexed Encountered Sports Edition. My name's Joe. We're going to be continuing our series on SCRAM 1960 season using red, white, and blue racing from Plaay Games. This is race number 7. The Mountain Home 100 at Ozarks Raceway. This is a dirt track, and so we'll have a little bit of a different experience for the dirt track race here. Our field will be limited to 30, and there will be some other changes, things like you can't deny or turn down the opportunity for a duel, rather, and things like that, and I'll mention them as they come up. One thing here on our track card, if we take a look at this, you can see here it's a half-mile dirt oval. It is a 20-turn race despite only being 100 miles, so each turn in this equals 5 miles rather than the standard 10. You can see it uses the 100 race rules. Black die 2 indicates middle group on turns 1 to 10 and the top group on turns 11 to 20. There are no pits. If we roll a 7, we conclude the turn with a problem roll for the bottom group because of the congested nature of these relatively short, and obviously dirt is a different surface than pavement. The grip is not as good. So things get a little bit wild. And so that's going to be the setup. And let's get into qualification here. So the first thing we do, as always, is we roll to see how many TV drivers we get. We get 4. So we get Stoffel, Epperson, Royal, and Let's Go. Those are our 4 TV drivers. So first thing we do is we roll our dice here. And we get a 32 and a 32 for TV week results. Is team cohesion during race week, placement A plus performance chip. Stoffel was our first card drawn. He goes to the pole position and he gets a performance chip. So nicely done for the Tommy Stoffel number 99 Buick team. Now we'll roll for Warren Epperson. He gets a 54, which is positive fan interaction during race week, placement C. Epperson does not have a trophy, so he gets placed at the top of the bubble stack. Could have hoped for better, but he'll take what he gets. Carl Royal in the 101 gets a 63, which is pit crew cohesion, placement A plus performance chip. He is a bronze. So silver or bronze gains top position in top group, and he gets a performance chip. And now we'll roll for Lincoln Let's Go. And he gets a 21. A 21 is driver's top mechanic offers possibly illegal edge for this race. Accept or decline and roll on the setup chart. We're going to do this. So we roll 1 die. Whoops, that's not what I meant to do. We roll a 5. So a 5 is heads turn, whispers heard, roll again. Note only 1 re-roll. A second roll of 5 will be read as a 6. And we get a 6. Race officials learn of setup, roll again. 1 to 3 must start at back of field. 4, 5 disqualified. 6 disqualified for the number of... Oh my, he has disqualified himself for 5 races. So let's go. Illegal setup. Got to note this down. DQ'd 5 races. I will need to keep that in mind for the rest of our season here. All right, that concludes the TV week. So Let's Go is out. We'll put him over here as he is DQ'd. Bad break there for Mr. Lincoln Let's Go. So now we'll roll our metallics. And we get another 4, so fast drivers, only 4. And we get Gord McGreevy, Griffin Smith, Joe Cook, and Bruce Hodnett. Now, 2 of these guys, or 3 of these guys actually have the subscript for rolling to make sure they actually even qualify for the race. Smith's a 3, Cook's a 2, Hodnett is a 3. What I will do is if they fail to qualify, I will pull the next card out for a fast week for that driver, so we still have 4. Because we should have more than like 1, maybe. We might only end up with 1. So let's roll for McGreevy, who does not need a... Oh, actually, we don't need to roll for him. Sorry. So he is bronze, which gets highest position in the middle group. Now we look at Griffin Smith. He needs a 3 to qualify, and he gets it. So he has a bronze trophy. He'll go right here. Now Cook needs a 2 or 1. So he fails. So he's out. We draw the next card to see who replaces him. It'll be Fuzzy Peters, and we'll roll for Hodnett now. Who needs a 3 or less. He gets a 1, so he's in. He's silver. Silver gets the highest available in the top, so he goes in there. Now we're Fuzzy Peters is a bronze, so he'll go right here. Now slow week, and we get a 5 for that, so we get 5 slow drivers. Roger Peachy, Burl Exum, Wilsey Whiteman, and Lindsay Talby are slow this week. So silver for slow goes to the bubble stack. Gold for slow goes to the bottom. Bronze, bubble stack. Silver, bubble stack. And I have to roll for Peachy because he only has a 50% chance, so he's out. We'll draw another card. Bernie Straumer. He gets a fails to qualify for the race, so he's out as well. So I won't draw another one. We'll just move on. Okay, now we get our regular guys, remaining drivers. So we're just going to start filling in. We know we're only going to number 30. Okay, so we start with Herm Henderson, who goes to the bubble stack for no trophy. Then we have Pepper Stockton, silver. He goes to the highest position in the middle group. Springer. Boyce Daly, we have to roll. Rolls a 2, so he's in. Gold for Branch Montana. Perkle, bubble stack. Gold, Norm Gundy. Bronze, Ernie Galgano, I believe, goes to the bottom group. Burke is silver, but needs a roll. He gets it. He has a 3. He got a 2. We get another 3 from Macaluso. He has to roll. Gets a 1, so he's in. Gold, Pettis. Bronze for Mel Roach. Silver, Ross Hartzell has to roll. He's in. Gold, Kenny Worthington. Bronze. Bubble. Bronze. Bubble. Gold. Bubble. Silver. Gold with a qualifier of 3. He gets a 6, so Porter Lilly fails to make the race. Bronze. Bronze. Silver. Gold, but with a 3. Gets in. Running out of space here for the bubble stack, folks. Bronze with a 4. Does not make it. Frankie Swain is out. Bubble. Needs a 3. Dave Wedge, 3 or less. Gets a 3. 2 slots left. Bronze. Ferris Dixon. Bubble stack. This could be the last driver, Jerry Eccles, if he gets a 3 or less, and he does. So he's in, and that is all that we have room for. So none of the bubble stack drivers make it, unfortunately for them. And we have a short race and a short field, and we are ready to go. Okay, ready to rock and roll. We'll start with turn 1. We get a 1 and a 4, or 6 rather. So that is Smart in the top group. So we'll start here with Ross Pettis. We roll all 3 dice, but the right will not really factor. So we get a 6 and a 3. Now he's got 4 break, so that won't work. He's also got a performance chip, so that's going to help him out anyway. No Smart, Branch Montana. And Montana rolls a 6, so that's no good. Last chance, Hodnett has 4 gas, so he's got a 4 and a 2, and that will not get it done either. So first turn in, no eventful, no happenings. On to turn 2. 3, 7. So 3 is middle group, 7 is heat, and we were going to conclude this turn with a problem roll for the bottom group. So looking for heat, first one we find is Lonnie Lane Sr. in the 22. He rolls a 4, 6, 4. So he is going to jump up and steal Kenny Worthington's spot. Now we look at Eldon Briscoe. Rolls a 2, 5, 1. So the 1 will not work. Now we go to Willie Macaluso. He rolls a 2, 2, 5. So that will work. So Macaluso is going to jump up into the top group. Aaron Burke has the yellow triangle. Rolls a 2, 5, 2. So again, that's not good enough. Pepper Stockton rolls a 6, 5, 6. So that's not going to get it done. Fuzzy Peters with a blue triangle rolls a 3, 1, 6. Carl Royal, however, has a chip and will use it. And last but not least, Gord McGreevy, who does have the option to duel, but he's in the top spot in his group already. And he rolls a 6, so that will not get it done either. So that is the end of turn 2. Oh, I forgot to roll for the problem. I have to roll problem for the bottom group, so we'll do that. We roll a 51. 51 locator is driver 13. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. There's only 11 there. So we'll take Eccles because he's the last man and he has a triangle. So let's see what problem he gets. He gets a 25, which is cooling problem, roll for repair. His pit crew is in E. We are in the first third, so he needs a 3 or less. And he does not get it. So Eccles is the first man out with a cooling problem during turn 2. Now we move on to turn number 3. And we get a 4 and a 7. So 4 is bottom group and 7 is heat. And again, we check for a problem at the end. So we'll start with Dave Wedge. He gets a 5, so that won't do him any good. Hal Thomas gets a 3-1-1. So that would be Griffin Smith, and that actually will work because Griffin Smith has no break at all. Now we move to Hal Thomas, who also has heat. He gets a 4, 4, 2. So we're looking at Aaron Burke, and that will work as well. Now we go to Bridges Baker. 5, so that's out of range. Mel Roach. 5, also out of range. That was almost pretty bad. If he had rolled a 6, that would have been bad. So we go to Galgano now. He gets a 5, 2, 6. So 5 would be, well, we're looking at 2. So he's looking at Pepper Stockton. And that's going to work. So he's going to move up. And Stockton will move down. Because that's 6. You're not beating a 6 in most cases, if any. Burl Exum, final try, gets a 3, 6, 2. So he's 6 group. Odd, so that's Hilburn and 2 break. Hilburn does not have heat, so that leaves him only 1 break, and Exum moves up. Now we got to roll for our problem check. 31. 31 in bottom group is driver number 7, so that would be Vern Burr. Let's see what he gets. He gets a 42. Break trouble, roll for repair. His pit crew is a C, so that's actually pretty good. So a C in the first third, he needs a 7 or less. And he rolls a 10. So sorry, Vern, but you are out with a brake problem. And now we move on to turn number 4. That was a 6, so I'm going to leave it a 6. 6 and 4 and 5. So 6 is a duel, and 9 is the number 5 cars in the middle group. These two right here. They cannot refuse to duel. So we'll start with Briscoe. He rolls a 4. He does have a 4. He will take McGreevy's spot, and we'll have Hartzell challenge Wedge. But first, let's roll to see if there's trouble for McGreevy. Oops. His escape is a 7. He rolls a 10, so he does, in fact, have a problem. That problem is a 42, which is brake trouble, roll for repair. His crew is a B, so he can get by with a 9 or less. And he rolls a 4, so he's good. So McGreevy survives that. We go to Hartzell now, challenging Dave Wedge. And he rolls a 2, so that will work. And we check Wedge for trouble. His escape is an 8. He rolls an 8, so he's good. Turn number 5. We get a 6 and a 5. So we get another duel with 5, which is the 5 car in the top group. So Pettis is going to go after Carl Royal here. And he rolls a 5, which is his number, so that will work. Now we'll check Royal for escape. He needs a 9 or less. He gets a 7, so he's good. That's the end of turn 5. We go to turn 6. We get a 5 and a 10. So again, we're looking at duels, and a 10 is the number 4 cars in the middle group. These guys right here. So we're going to roll for Hodnett against Briscoe. He gets a 2, so that works. And if you're wondering why I'm rolling all 3, we're supposed to do that, and sometimes I do, and sometimes I don't, but I'm trying to get into the habit of doing it. So now we'll check trouble or a problem for Briscoe. He has an 8, and he gets an 8, so he's good. Now we'll do Hal Thomas against Russ Hartzell. He needs a 3, gets a 6. We'll have to, needs a 4 rather. We'll have to check him for an issue now. His escape is a 7, and he gets a 5, so he's good as well. So that's the end of turn 6. Turn 7, this would normally be a pit turn, but we don't have those in this race. We roll a 6 and a 6. So again, a duel, and a number 6 gives us the number 6 car in the top group. Lonnie Lane going after Pettis. Lonnie Lane needs a 5 or less. Rolls a 3, so that will work. So a lot of movement here. Now we have to check Pettis for trouble. He's got a 9 for escape. He gets a 9, so he's good. That's the end of turn 7. We move on to turn 8. And we get another duel and a 12, which is the 2 cars in the middle group. So we'll have Galgano going after Hodnett and Peters going after Hartzell. And we roll a 6, so Galgano fails, has to roll for an escape. He needs less than an 8 and gets an 8, so he's okay. Now Peters will take on... actually, I guess Peters can take on Hodnett since he failed, so we'll do that. So he needs a 4 or less, gets a 2. So that works. And Hodnett now needs to roll for escape. His number is a 9. He rolls an 8. So moving on, that's turn 8. We go to turn 9. And we get a 3 and a 9. So 3 is middle group and 9 is reflex. So here's reflex at Burl Exum. We'll start right at the top. He rolls a 2-3-2. So the 2, the 3, the 2, not good enough. Then we'll check Worthington, who has a starred reflex, or, yep, starred reflex. 5, so that's good. 4 is Gundy, and 3 breaks. Nope. So he has to try again. And he has a 2-6-6. So this time he will succeed in passing Pettis. And we'll go to McGreevy. He has a 4, so that's too high. He only has 3. Dave Wedge also only has 3 gas, so he also fails. Briscoe has 5, so he gets a 4-6-6, which will now bump Worthington. And you know what? I keep forgetting to give people performance chips for duels. So I know he's got one. I'm pretty sure he has one. And I don't remember the other ones, unfortunately. Hartzell might have one too, because they moved up from back here, I'm pretty sure. So we'll put that there. So I messed that up. I'm trying to kind of fill in backwards. I always forget the performance chip for duels for some reason. So sorry about that. But when you win a duel, you are supposed to get a performance chip. So I screwed that up. All right. Where was I? Reflex, right. So he just got bumped. We're looking for reflex. Rowley Springer. 1-6-2. Well, he's got 2, so that won't work. And then that's, oh, he has, no. Hodnett has reflex, and so does Fuzzy Peters. Hodnett gets a 3-3-6. So he's going to bump Branch Montana because of that 6 on the blue die. And Fuzzy Peters. Now he rolled a 6 and a 5. So with the blue triangle, that indicates that he is going to have an issue. Yep, so he's just out. And he can't use his chip to get out of that. He can only use his chip for trouble. This is not trouble, this is just out. So Peters goes out here in turn number 9 with a mechanical issue because of the blue triangle. So everybody else is going to move up, and we'll roll to see if Hilburn goes up. He does. And that's the end of turn 9. We go to turn number 10. And we get another duel, 6 and 8. So this is the 6 cars in the middle group. So Hilburn and Exum. So Hilburn will be successful. We'll take Hartzell's chip. And now Exum will go after Hartzell. And he rolls a 4, so he gets it. Now he gets a chip. This time I'll remember that. And Hartzell has to roll for a problem. His escape is a 7. And he gets a 6, so he's okay. So that's turn number 10. Turn 11. 5 and 7. So this is another duel. And 7 is Fume Feud, which we do not have anybody fuming or feuding right now. So I think if I remember correctly, if you roll that and you don't have anybody, then nothing happens. You proceed to the next turn. So we have an uneventful turn 11. On to turn 12, and we roll a 5 and an 8. So that is going to be the 6 cars in the middle group. These 2 guys are going to try to move up. So we'll have Hilburn. He'll go after Exum again. And again, we can just cost him his chip, I guess, if it fails. So it actually succeeds. So Burl Exum will lose his chip, and now we'll have Hartzell take on Exum. And he rolls a 4, which is higher than his number, so that fails. So that is turn number 12. We roll a 1 and an 11. So 1 is top group, 11 is trouble. So we roll a trouble result. So we have to check all of the escape ratings for all of these guys. So we roll a 6 for Briscoe, that's good. His number's an 8. We roll a 7 for Royal, who has a 9. We roll an 8 for Gundy, who has a 7. So that means he has trouble. Now we'll try Hodnet, who has a 9. He rolls a 5. Macaluso has a 7. He rolls a 10, so he gets caught up as well. And Lonnie Lane has a 10 and rolls a 3, so he's fine. So we have these two guys getting into trouble, so we have to check them now. He has an E. We are in the middle third. So his trouble rating, he needs to roll a 5 here with his E. And he does roll a 4, so he gets to stay. Macaluso, he's got an E, and he needs to roll a 5 as well. And he rolls an 11, so Macaluso gets caught up. He's out. Okay, so we're going to get a yellow flag turn that will cover turn 14, because this was 13. So turn 13, Macaluso is out in a wreck. Now we have to fill the gap. We'll roll for Exum to move up. He does. Now we'll roll for Stockton, who needs a 4 or less. He gets a 4, so he moves up as well. All right, we're down to just 26 drivers remaining in the race. We go to turn 15, because turn 14 was a yellow flag turn. You're limited to one yellow flag, one turn per yellow flag in a dirt track race because of the short distance. And we get a 3 and a 5. So 3 is middle group and a 5 is skill. So we're looking for skill. Pepper Stockton has skill. He just moved up into the middle group, so he'll get a chance to put that to the test. He gets a 4-1-6. So he actually goes for Lonnie Lane and will remove Lane's chip. Now we go to Hilburn. He rolls a 6-4-5, so that's going to fail. We go to Hartzell, who only has 3 gas pedals. He rolls a 4, so the no for him. Pettis, no skill. McGreevy, no. Wedge, no. Kenny Worthington, with 5 gas pedals, rolls a 2-1-6. So he's going to take Lonnie Lane's spot, and he moves back up. Hal Thomas with 4. He rolls a 1-4-1. So that would be good, except that he doesn't have enough brake to, or Royal has more than enough brake there to hold off Thomas. And now we try Boyce Daly, who also has a 4. He rolls a 5, so that's no good. Rowley Springer, no skill. Galgano, no. Branch Montana with 4 gas pedals gets a 2-2-4. So he's looking at Hodnett, who has 1 brake, plus 1 is only 2. So Montana jumps to the 3rd spot, and that is the end of turn 15. We have 5 turns left in the race. Stoffel has led wire to wire so far. And we get a 1, so this is top group, and 9 is reflex. So now we will finally have some challenges of Stoffel's top position. He does have a performance chip. So reflex, we start with Burl Exum. He gets a 4 and a 4. So he has 2, plus 2 is 4. Plus he has reflex, so that would actually be 5. So he doesn't even need to use his chip there. Briscoe rolls a 6, so that's too high. Luckily for him, he does not have any triangles. Carl Royal needs a 3 or less. He gets a 2, but that 1 on the blue is not going to get it done, so he also didn't have reflex, so I shouldn't have done that. So let's roll for Gundy, who gets a 4-6-3. So again, that won't be enough, but he gets to take a second crack at it. And this time he gets a 3-1-4, and again, a 4 is not going to be enough to bump Stoffel. Branch Montana Rolls a 5. That's higher than his gas, so nope. And now Kenny Worthington with a starred reflex. Rolls a 5, 4, 5. So that would tie that because he's got 2, plus 2 for being in the lead, plus he has the quality. And he has a performance chip, so he's going to hold his lead here, even though Worthington gets another crack at it. So again, he rolls a 4, which is good, and a 5, which would be good, except that's exactly how many breaks he has. So Stoffel is locked in and remains atop the grid here with only 4 turns left. Now we get a 4 and a 6. So a 4 is bottom group and a 6 is smart. So we're looking for smart. No, 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 no. Nobody has it. End of turn 17. We go to turn 18. And we get a 3, which is middle group, and a 7, which is heat. And we have to check for a problem at the bottom group. So we are looking at heat. So we'll start with Pepper Stockton, the appropriately named Pepper Stockton, for a heat check. And he gets a 4, 2, 4. So he's looking at Montana, and Montana has 2 breaks, so that's going to work. Pepper Stockton jumps up to 3rd place. Hilburn does not have heat, neither does Hartzell. Pettis does, however. He rolls a 2, 6, 5. So he's going to take Exum spot. McGreevy, who can choose to duel rather than challenge, he's gonna challenge. Why wouldn't he, right? Well, it didn't work out. He rolled a 5, and he's lucky he has no triangles, I guess. Dave Wedge with only 3 gas, and he rolls a 6, 6, 5, 6, 5, 6. So that would not have, well, it would have worked out well for him had he had more than 3 gas paddles, I guess, and a die roll lower than a 6. Lonnie Lane with 5 gas rolls a 6, so that's not going to help him either. Hal Thomas has 4. He gets a 1, 2, 6, so that will work, and he's going to take Pepper Stockton, who had just moved up there. He's going to take that spot. No heat, no heat. Ernie Galgano rolls a 3, 5, 4. So he's going to look at Briscoe, and he's going to take that spot. And Bruce Hodnett with 4 gas rolls a 1, 3, 5. So he's going to take Gundy's spot. So we do have some movement behind the leader, but Stoffel remains ensconced in the lead. And we go to turn 18. And we get a 4, which is, oh, again, I forget to do the problem check. So I'm going to keep this roll, and I'm just going to do the problem check now for the bottom group. So we get a 66, and that's going to be the last driver. So I'm just going to go with the first triangle driver, which is Griffin Smith. We'll check Griffin Smith for trouble. He rolls a 53 for a problem, rather. Handling issues, roll for repair. He has an E. We are in the last third, and E has no way to fix a problem. So he's out. So here in turn number 19, G. Smith goes out. All right, now we're going to keep this roll. So as I said, it was 4, which is bottom group, and 10, which is control. So we'll start with Ferris Dixon. And we get a 4, which is higher than his gas paddle. So we'll check Burke, who has a yellow triangle. He rolls a 2, 4, 6. So 2 and so 4 even is Dave Wedge, and Burke will take Wedge's spot and move up. Belergen gets a 1, 2, 6. So the 1 is odd, so he's going to take Daly's spot. I'm getting a little movement here in the final turn. Godfrey Sell gets a 2, 6, 4. So that would be Hilburn. And no control, no control. So that is going to end the race. And what we have is, we have a victory, a wire-to-wire win for Tommy Stoffel. Tommy Stoffel led the entire race. Certainly helped by some of the dirt track rules, dirt track racing in the notes that come with the game. Keith noted that in dirt track racing, there typically wasn't a lot of movement because of the packed nature of the track, and so people who were in front tended to stay in front. We did have some movement in both the top, well, in all three groups, but mostly top and middle, and that will complete the race. So Stoffel in the 99 Buick is your winner. Kenny Worthington in the 46 Dodge is second. Hal Thomas in the 17 Chevy is third. Bruce Hodnett in the 57 Chrysler is fourth. Carl Royal, the 101 Ford, he's fifth. Ernie Galgano in the 100 Pontiac is sixth. Ross Pettis and his 48 Plymouth, he is in seventh. The number 35 Chrysler and Norm Gundy takes eighth. The number 44 Ford, driven by Eldon Briscoe, finishes ninth. And the 41 Mercury, Rowley Springer, he finishes in 10th. There you have it. That is the end of this race, the end of race number 7 in our SCRAM 1960 season in the Mountain Home 100 at Ozarks Raceway. Thank you for watching. Please feel free to comment, ask questions, whatever. I will do my best to respond in a timely fashion. I appreciate you guys watching as always. Thank you very much. Please consider liking, sharing, and or subscribing. That would be much appreciated. And that's going to do it. My name's Joe. This has been Hexed Encountered Sports Edition, the Mythic Sports Universe using Red, White, and Blue Racin from Plaay Games, and the SCRAM 1960 season. Until next time, happy gaming.